I believe that the best way to fight a danger in our country was through an informed and free American people who made decisions for themselves. I refused to use unconstitutional powers. We never issued mask mandates. We didn't mandate vaccines. We never kept anybody from going to church, and we kept kids in the classroom. I didn't arrest or ticket or fine a single individual for exercising their basic rights. South Dakota was the only state that didn't even define what an essential business was. Every business is essential. Looking around the world today, we see fundamental freedoms evaporating because of COVID lockdowns, but not in South Dakota. We drew a clear line, and the line between tyranny and freedom is getting more clear every day across our country. The left divides us based on our differences. Conservatives, we unite around our shared values. The left crushes free speech. Conservatives celebrate free expression. The left says America is racist and that it's evil. Conservatives know America is not the sum of our past mistakes. The left says only an elite class of so-called experts is smart enough to solve our problems. But conservatives know that everyone can contribute and that experts are often the last group who should be put in charge. I want to tell you a brief story about a man who was not an expert, but he saved America at a crucial time in our history. In Boston, there was approximately 11,000 British soldiers occupying the city during the Revolutionary War. Now, George Washington's ragtag army of Continentals surrounded them, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. The Americans carried only their personal muskets. They didn't have any cannons. They didn't have any ammunition. General Washington knew that as soon as the warmer weather would come, they'd be in trouble. Now, the British, they were going to break out of Boston when it warmed up, storm his position, and that they would end the Revolutionary War. But then a 25-year-old bookseller named Henry Knox came to General Washington with a proposal. Now, Knox had never been in combat, but he had plenty of common sense. He was self-educated in military matters. He sold books for a living, but he read them too. Now, Knox volunteered to lead a group of individuals to retrieve cannons that were recently captured at a fort in New York. Knox and his team traveled to that fort. They disassembled 59 different pieces of weapons. They loaded them onto boats and shipped them 30 miles across Lake George. In fact, the lake froze solid just as they reached the other side. Next, they loaded these cannons up onto sleds. They hitched them up to oxen and dragged over 60 tons of artillery over 300 miles of frozen rivers and mountains. And they did it in less than 2 months. On St. Patrick's Day, 1776, with Knox's guns in place, General Washington and his troops forced the British to evacuate Boston, and America won the battle. Now that's tough. That's American grit. And that's the kind of thinking and doing that we need today. It's not easy, and it won't be overnight, but it is simple. The question is, how much pain are you willing to go through to be free? You are part of a story that began a long time ago. It's the story of human freedom. Many chapters have already been written today, but you are writing a chapter of that story too. And what will it say? What should we do? First, number one, speak the truth. The left lives on lies. It's part of their power to frighten people into falling in line. Take that power away. No one in this room is afraid to speak the truth, but we all know people in our lives who are. So I need you to encourage them, strengthen them. Let them know that they are not alone in thinking that. Remind them that there is a reality and a truth still in this world. We can know it and we can live by it. It sets us free and it makes us happy. Second, never give up. We won on mask mandates because people got involved in their communities. And we are going to win on life, first at the Supreme Court and then also in the states. And when we do, it will be because thousands of ordinary people across our country simply said, enough. National politics starts on your street. It starts in your neighborhood. Get involved. Lead. Find the best fighter that you can and have their back in the trenches. That's the beauty of federalism. Remember what we are fighting to conserve. When I served in Congress, I'd often walk past the National Archives, and there's an inscription on the outside of the building that says this: "The glory and romance of our history are here preserved in the chronicles of those who conceived and built the structure of our nation." Think about those words. Glory, romance. The left never talks about such things. They don't even know what they are. We should talk about them more. There is an old strength to our national character. We have it as Americans. Remembering the strength and calling it forth once again, that is our calling. It is our duty. We have inherited the greatest legacy of freedom in human history, and we have to fight to hold on to it. And we have some fantastic fighters, like President Donald Trump. But he's not alone. The American people are on our side. We will win if we remember what we are conserving, if we keep relentlessly focused on defending freedom, and if we never give up.